What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I was at my dealer and there you go, on display I see these carbon brake cooling ducts and I thought to myself, wow, at near $300 for these two, do I need them? Absolutely not. But do I want them? Hell yeah. So I figured since I bought them, let me make a video showing you how to install them and how they look in the bike. Okay, so let's be real here. Does someone really need these? Now, if you're racing at the track, sure, you can utilize the redirection of air into the brake calipers and brake pads and cool off your brakes faster, sure. But if you're riding the street, do you really need them? Well, not really. Let's face it, $300 can be spent somewhere else instead of this. Personally, I have gotten brake fade on the street maybe twice, and that's only because we were pushing really hard with the guys, something that you shouldn't really be doing on the street. So it's not something that occurs often for me to justify near $300 for these cooling ducts, but at the same time, this bike for me is a project bike, so I'm planning to max it out as much as I can. I just purchased some Core Moto Apex 6 wheels, forged wheels. That was near $3,000. I'm about to do a 520 conversion chain and so much more, which at the end of the day, adding another $300 for these cooling ducts, it doesn't mean much. So for me, it was well worth spending to complete the look of the bike and how I imagine it. Also, these are OEM Aprilia carbon brake cooling ducts, and part of the reason I wanted these specifically is because it matches exactly the carbon from Extreme Components in matte finish. Now through the camera you can't really tell because of lighting, but they are identical as if they were made from the same company. So for me, this was a no-brainer to install them in the front. Okay, so the first thing you'll need to do is to remove this 4mm hex from the front hugger. So we're going to reuse this, so keep it. And then next we'll have to remove these two caliper bolts. These are 8mm. Go slow on these. You don't want to strip these. There you go. Now, when you remove both bolts, these two spacers here, spacer 1 and spacer 2, we're not going to reuse them because the kit comes with a bracket that substitutes the thickness of these spacers. There you go, one spacer out, and second out. There you go. And you can just leave the caliper right there, because all we need is some space to insert the bracket that comes with the kit. Okay, so the duct comes with this bracket, this 4mm screw, the washer for the screw, and this that will go on the bracket here. Now the point for this bracket is to be inserted between the caliper over here, and this is where this screw is going to attach, and here this will go underneath it, and we'll reuse the screw that was here, and this will be in place here. All right, so the proper way to install this bracket, the proper orientation will be here. This nuts over here will be from the outside, right here. The metal part of the bracket will be inside the ducts, and this, I don't know what type of material this is, but this will be outside towards the brake caliper. This is the correct orientation. Okay, so now you'll take this, see, that's the reason for the nuts in there. Make sure you align the hole. There you go. And then also in the instructions, it tells you to use blue Loctite for this screw. We'll take the washer, install the washer, put this through the duct over here, and then this bracket will be screwed right here. See, so the goal is this will go in here, you will have to move the caliper, and this will go underneath. But before we insert it, we'll have to tighten this. Don't over tighten it because this is carbon, and if you screw it too much, it can actually break. Okay, so now that the bracket is in place, you'll have to make some space with the brake caliper. So you can insert this through here and inside right there. So one, and the bottom over there will go from here, and this screw here will go right there underneath, and the other will go above it. There you go. So we can reinsert this screw here. Just keep it in place right there. So we can reposition this here. So basically this bracket substitutes for the spacers, so we're not going to reuse them. But now we can install the caliper bolt, and I'll line them in. And now realign the second one. Okay, once you hand tighten the bolts, as you can see, I cannot turn them anymore by hand. What you'll do is you'll unscrew them about a quarter turn each, right there, only to make the caliper a little bit loose, as you can see here if I move it. Now the reason we do that is because we want to spin the wheel and then compress the brake. Spin it and compress the brake right there. And while you keep the brake compressed, that's where you're going to tighten the caliper. So have your ratchet ready with your 8mm here. Leave the caliper a little bit loose. Have your hand ready at the brake lever. Spin the wheel. Compress the brake. Keep it compressed. As you can see, this is one move. By keeping the brake lever compressed, you will tighten the bolts. See, I'm still keeping it compressed. Tighten. Tighten. Just enough before we use our torque wrench. So they're tight enough. Now you can release it. It doesn't move. Wheel spins. We're good to go. Now we just need to torque these two. Okay, we have our torque wrench at 50 Newton meters. Now we're gonna go. Okay, this is torqued. This is torqued. One more, the top one. Yep, we're torqued on both of them. All right, and last step, we'll need to tighten this 4mm. Quarter turn, right there. And it's good to go. Okay, so now that that's installed, all you need to do is repeat the same process for the other side. All right, guys, install is complete. I would say it takes about 10 minutes for each side, max. sides. What I do like about these ducts, one is that because the RSV4 has this tray looking wing, it gives a little bit of volume here to balance that by taking these sides a little out. And what I also like is that it kind of covers part of the silver casting from the forks, so it makes it more balanced compared to the look of the bike and the carbon on the frames and the swing arm. So I know it may be pricey, but I have zero regrets for it. All right, guys, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Is this something you would install? Is this something that you wouldn't install? Either way, let me know in the comments. And also stay tuned, because coming up is 520 conversion chain and sprockets with 2 teeth up on the rear. And if you can see here, some grips, because I'm going to install triple clamp and clip-ons after this. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps me a lot with the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.